The year is 87039, new nonlinear time. It's been 50,000 years since Stephen Zapata's final art stream, but we still live in a golden age defined by the gifts his stream bestowed upon mankind. Faster than light travel, eternal life, Stephen cloning, and the keys to a truly galactic human civilization. My name is Stave Satapaz, a reminder clone of Stephen Zapata, an exact reproduction of his personality as constructed by an AI compiling millions of hours of his original art streams. By all accounts, I'm exactly like the original Stephen's public persona, just more muscular, exactly as he would have wanted. I travel the stars on my light tracer, a dream of Stephen. My crew is, of course, all clones of Stephen. Some of my officers are reminders like me, but not all. Some are bioclones, and yet others are aspectoids, clones who, instead of trying to capture his full essence, amplify a particular portion of the original Stephen's personality. We've spent hundreds of years drawing, exploring, and philosophizing while snaking our way through the stars, spreading the good word of design. But we've had another, secret mission as we've cruised the cosmos. I seek information on the legendary originals, Stephen Zapata's true drawings that he flung wide across the stars at the end of his life on Earth, never to be seen again. My crew thinks I'm looking for them for the same reason all the other madmen do, because they would be valuable beyond all reason. But they don't know what I know, that a critical mass of originals in the hands of a trained reminder can provide a psychic link to the original Stephen mind. Once I collect enough, I'll be able to fulfill my destiny and achieve psychological continuity with the original Stephen. And through me, he will live again to usher in golden ages of art forever. Drawing Ascendant, the eternal chronicles of Stephen Zapata. Lasting Legacy 1, Epic 1.
Let the stream begin. Let the boy die, Jon Snow, and let the stream begin. All right, I gotta drink water. Voice is a little dry today. Was on the phone for a long time this morning. Testing audio levels, testing audio levels. This is me speaking. This is me speaking. This is me projecting. This is me projecting. This is me singing with world-class quality. This is the genetics of a 9-year-old girl singing Ave Maria at a funeral. All right, let's get to drawing. Hello, everybody. Hello, Yatuki. Hello, Egarsi. Hello, Nick Ravioli. Hello, Cake Sandwich. Hello to Magnus Marshall, CG01, Neil Kowalkowski, Estros Munoz, Corey Kroom Knocker, Just a Random Tomato, Autumn Rose, Fish Flops, Aaron, Melio Ration, Matej K, Art Dad, Mizubi Art, GG01, Mach 22, Saman Kucher, and of course, who could forget, Virtual 1994. Not the real 1994, but the virtual one. Let me adjust my music volume here. Air conditioner has to stay on. We're still in AC season for the stream because it has been wicked hot in New York. It refuses to let up. It refuses. Let me make my text a little larger for my old man eyes. Make my chat just a little bigger. Oh boy, it's dark in here today. Hate summer. Summer messes with everything about stream. AC, windows closed so that they don't heat the studio. It's all messed up. Already got a question. Josue Vasquez says, random question. What time do you usually start drawing? Somehow I never get to it until 1 p.m. LOL. LOL. You're right. That is funny. That's funny. That's funny because if you have any hope of being a serious artist, obviously that's not going to be enough. That's hysterical. It's very funny to waste your time trying to be a good artist when you're only going to start drawing at 1 p.m. Very funny. We all laugh at that. We all think that's hysterical. I agree. LOL. In all seriousness, though, I usually draw or do some sort of art-related thing. Not always drawing, but usually drawing first thing in the morning. So, you know, if you're starting at 1 p.m., I mean, by 9 o'clock usually, by 9 a.m., I've already been drawing for 2 hours. I usually start drawing 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. Like I roll right out of bed, get my coffee, straight to drawing. Straight to drawing. And it's not hard. It's easy, baby. Oh, it's easy, baby. It's not like going to the gym or working out. It's not like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I need to do this. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. So, you know, make of that what you will. Catch up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding about all of that. I know there's a lot of new people here. They don't know, how could he act that way? How could he be so arrogant? Were the AI bros right? Are artists that arrogant? Are they that big pieces of shit? How could he say those things? How could he be so confident? And I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Obviously, you could never catch up. There's no hope for you to catch up. So it's all a big joke, obviously. All right, let's do some drawing for the project. I am rediscovering Clip Studio Paint. I've been drawing in it more the past couple of days. Not even breakfast before? No, I almost always draw long time before breakfast. Being completely serious now. I usually draw somewhere between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. I've done some sort of creative activity. That is usually drawing. It might be doing research, it might be writing if that's what's pertinent to the day. And I'll usually eat breakfast between 9 and 10 a.m. Somewhere in there, I'll throw in a quick 5K or a 10K. But yeah, I usually shuffle those things out around in the morning. So like I was saying, I've been drawing in Clip Studio past couple of days. I'm going to keep drawing in it because Clip Studio has a lot of functions I am very interested in. And as I've said on the stream many times, I just need to get over my momentum for Photoshop because I've been using Photoshop since I was, no joke, 12 years old. So it's very hard for me to let it go. So I've been drawing in it the past couple of days, getting used to it. A big thing that I'm doing is that instead of the usual, when I try to do one of my shortcuts and it doesn't work, just going ugh and just like dealing with it and figuring out what the real shortcut is in Clip Studio and just sort of trying to stupidly, like in that moment, like, all right, just remember to hit J instead of Q or whatever. I'm actually changing the shortcuts as I go. That's probably more important than any drawing that I'm doing right now. Is just finding the gaps in my workflow and plugging them. What time do you go to sleep? I go to sleep very early. I'm usually in bed around 9 a.m. Also is much more lighter than Photoshop. I don't know what you mean by lighter, but unfortunately, I find Clip Studio is slower than Photoshop for me. I believe that's something to do with the fact that I'm on a Mac and it won't use the graphics acceleration for an AMD card or something. I think it's something like that. So I'm just working through that. Photoshop is much faster than Clip Studio on my computer right now, but I'm just working through that in the good faith that that will get fixed eventually. I mean, stuff like that gets fixed from one update to another if it's a good company who's working hard. Or who knows, I could switch to a PC or something like that. So I'm trying not to focus on that. I don't need a program to be perfectly fast. So I'm just trying not to think about that or really get hung up on that. And I'm just learning it anyway. you realize that Photoshop sucks. Photoshop does suck. It doesn't suck completely. Here's the thing. If you need to do everything, nothing beats Photoshop. And if you need to work with a lot of other people, nothing beats Photoshop. Photoshop is the lowest common denominator, so if you need to share files, Photoshop's really your only option at this point, unless you're on a team where everyone has agreed, like we're all gonna use Clip Studio or Procreate or something like that. Photoshop is industry standard, works across the most files. So Photoshop is great for that, or your only option for that. And like I said, it does do kind of everything. But if you're a more specialized person, like Photoshop is not made for people who draw. That's not who Photoshop is concerned with. Clip Studio is. A lot of things like Clip Studio and Procreate are, and that's a significant thing. I'm gonna have to do all of my shortcuts for selections here soon. So it just depends what you need. Neil says Photoshop is an old janky pile, but it's not the hell AutoCAD is. That's life with ancient industry standard software. Yeah, legacy code right there. My wife uses AutoCAD, so I don't know your pain personally, but I'm very close to someone who I see have your pain often. A lot of screaming, a lot of screaming. Speed up the positions of the main masses more. My my clip is probably going to be extra laggy today because well, I'm streaming at the same time, but I'm also glazing images off to the side. So my computer's doing a lot right now. My computer's doing quite a bit right now. How do you avoid going into shrimp posture? I mean, sometimes I go into shrimp posture. Sometimes you can't help it. You just Look, it doesn't matter what you do with your life. You're gonna sacrifice your body somehow. You know? Even at the extremes of being a fitness freak, if you're like an athlete or something, you're sacrificing your body. So be an athlete of art. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Take care of yourself. There's a lot of people out there who think it's actually a good idea to be an athlete of art and just don't take care of their health, ruin their minds, ruin their bodies. And it holds back their art because they're dying slowly. So. Running Glaze and art program, your PC must be a Chad. Thanks, Apple. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't do this on a PC. Never used a PC I liked. Never in my life. Used many. Used many very expensive PCs. Spent years working on a PC at a studio that was like, not years, but I spent significant portions of time working on like $5,000 PCs, $8,000 PCs at studios. Never used a one that I liked. Not a one. My consumer grade iMac, it'll do all this. Go figure. It'll do all this, and it comes with a 5K color correct screen. That's nice. Color correction nerds, don't get on my ass. Color correction is subjective. Colors are correct in terms of the goal that you're putting them towards. Are your colors correct for print? Are your colors correct for a reference monitor? Are your colors correct for an HDR10 standard? Are your colors correct for Dolby Vision? It's subjective. It's subjective. Not subjective, but goal-oriented. Stay away, color correction nerds. I can't stand you. Easy now. Easy now. Joseph Mazziliano, Matt Ziliangno, Jodef Mandugu. Hello, Jodef. I'm going to assume here I'm not going to do the greatest designs because I'm trying to get used to a new software, but let's still try to get something cool out of it. But definitely getting used to new software is priority number one right now. Steven, have you ever faced problems with cognition like brain fog? Not in like a diagnosable kind of a way. I don't know if diagnosable is the right word, but never in a capacity where I thought like it was the result of something like an illness or some environmental factor or something like that. Just, you know, being really tired, maybe for extended periods of time where it's like can't quite think and things like that. I've definitely had that kind of brain fog, but yeah, never like a sickness kind of a thing or anything like that. I was going to play Genshin Impact. Now I am finishing a tree I was drawing at work. Thank you, Stephen. You see? You see? You see? You see? Do you see? Do you see the service that I do in the world? Can you acknowledge how incredibly useful I am? Can you witness my ennobling qualities? If I hadn't been here, yet another person would have wasted possibly hours looking at anime ass. But instead, here they are, drawing, being creative on their own. At worst, they're drawing that anime ass themselves. But where would they be without me? Have I not pleased you? Have I not done enough? I don't want this to feel like a functional skeleton. This is supposed to be a character animated by the mycelium. So I want to break up the position of the bones so that it's clear that it's not actually the bones holding them up. That looks too much like he has a big swinging dick hanging between his legs, so we're going to remove that one. Maybe a little chicken of the forest down here. Chicken of the forest down here. Little golden teachers, little B pluses up there. Let's get the head of the humerus popping out somewhere here so that our little visual gimmick is clear on the arm as well. Want to nibble on his mushrooms? Easy. Easy, perverts. All right? I know how you do. I know you come running. Just take a second. Just deep breath in, deep breath out. Chicken of the forest, chicken of the forest. Chicken of the forest, chicken of the sea. Chicken, what do you think about me? Tell me chicken, cluck, cluck, cluck. Tell me chicken, you're the source of all my luck. Yeah. Oh. Okay, that's one. Hi, Leah from Italy. So glad to catch a stream. I needed the chill, just have fun with art vibes. Happy to provide, Leah. Truly. Deselect, new select, double click. Double click is not rename. To right click. It's not here. Layer settings. Change layer name. Would I really have to do that every time? Someone who's better with clip. What's the fastest way to rename a layer in clip? Maybe if I command click, alt click, control click, shift click, double right click? That never works. I don't want it to be that every time I'd have to go to layer settings and then change layer name. That also seems like a weird thing to give a... Oh no, I see. I was double clicking on the layer's opacity. I need to double click on the layer's actual name. Got it. Double click on the name itself, yes. Thank you. I knew I could count on you guys. I figured it out myself that time, but I will definitely need all of your helps as time goes on. I know there's secret Clip Studio Paint pros hiding in the chat. I will definitely need your help. All right, so Joe had described this character as tall and thin, I think. Let me read for a second here. Yeah, tall and thin. But we don't need to be married to anything, so maybe I'll do a low, sort of more disorganized version. See what that looks like. Maybe I'll do a bulkier, stronger looking version. But let's look at a more blob-like approach. Maybe something like that. A layout like that. No, already don't like that. It's only one person's bones, so I don't want to do the Lovecraftian tons of legs thing. How can I get low? Maybe if we do more wood. Kind of has like a protective shield. Of shrooms. It's like a collar around the torso area. Let's let the head pop out. Let's get a place to have a hand. Steven, you can press C to draw with transparent ink, so that way you don't need to change to the eraser tool. Yes, I do like that function. I have been using it. It's just I haven't rewritten because it also works to just hit E and go to the eraser. So I haven't rewritten the muscle memory to go to C. I think I will get used to that when it's like, it's useful for hatching because like right now when I'm sketching, I don't want the eraser to be the same size as my drawing lines, right? Like when I want to erase, I don't want to erase at this size, right? See how that's kind of inefficient. When I'm sketching, I want to erase big. That's why my eraser is larger there, you can see. I just want to take out whole areas like that because I'm designing. But the transparent ink shrink is good when you're hatching, because when you're hatching and rendering things, you do sometimes want to hatch with the exact same width because then you can cut back and forth and that gives a nice effect. You can also do that in Photoshop, by the way, for anyone who's wondering. It's not with the C key, it's the tilde. If you hold the tilde key while you draw in Photoshop, you'll switch the brush mode to clear instead of anything additive. That's probably too many ribs to be the rib cage of one person. It's a start, it's a start. Let's look at a thicker boy. Hey Steven, I just got here. Is there any reason why you were using CSP instead of using Photoshop? There's a lot of reasons. I've been interested in a clip studio for a long time. It has a lot of features I am interested in using. I just need to break the momentum for Photoshop. So that's mostly what I'm doing here. As to the actual features that I'm interested in, the sequential drawing figures, definitely features, definitely interesting. Just being able to work in a book book layout in the drawing file is very interesting to me. I've also always been interested in the vector drawing tools. The prospect of being freed from sort of the arbitrary constraints of size is very interesting to me. It's like if I can get used to drawing in Clip, I would definitely do a lot of stuff with the vector drawing tools, because they look just like, if you're doing like hard line inking, they look the same. The vector drawing tools in Clip look exactly the same as the raster drawing tools. So the idea that you could output at an arbitrary size and all of the weird controls that it gives you, like letting you edit line weight and stuff like this after the fact, that's very, very interesting to me. Hello, Gabuda. Hello, Senior Bob. Hello, Chris Maycock. Let's move these limbs around. I started trying out the new version of Glaze this morning. Very interesting results. I only got to glaze one image before I had to jump on stream, but very interesting. It's very annoying to me that in Clip I could not, it won't let you assign escape as a shortcut key, which escape was how I would reset my canvas rotation instinctively in Photoshop. So now I have to rewire my muscle memory to hit Shift R to reset my canvas rotation. These are the kinds of things that annoy me. That's how comfortable my life is. That's the kind of cognitive overhead that I have freed up. I can be annoyed at not being able to set escape as a shortcut key. You could use AutoHotkey to map escape to Shift R. Is AutoHotkey a built-in function in macOS, or is that like a separate app? I'm not gonna get a separate app. It's I'm definitely much more willing to remap my muscle memory to Shift R. More willing to do that than I am to throw another app into the mix. I've already got enough stuff I have to have open while I work. Let's beat up this arm. Steven needs to try the 3D hand scanner thing. Yeah, I saw that. That's a pretty wild function, yeah? But I don't really see myself using the 3D model tools in in Clip Studio, so I don't foresee myself using the hand transfer thingy. It is a very cool tech, though, for people who use those 3D mannequins. Very interesting. If they can do it to the hand, they must be able to do it to everything, right? Pretty soon there'll be tons of people using Clip Studio who will just be regularly turning on their webcam to transmit naked videos of themselves to CSP to quickly process and apply to the mannequins. CSP will send you a warning. It'll be like, your clothes are obstructing our ability to transfer to the 3D mannequin. Please remove your clothes. Please remove your clothes to continue. Bom, bom. Please remove your clothes to continue. To continue using the tool, please remove your clothes. Please remove your clothes. Please keep the camera on and remove your clothes. A lot of naked people in the chat. Lots of naked people in the chat. Too many, I'm gonna say. Bit too much. Get your clothes on, get to drawing. Skinny, thick, big squishy guy. Let's do another tall, Joseph Tall. Let's Let's not have the let's not have the high neck. Let's do a silhouette like this. Let me look at some mushrooms real quick. Let me look for a little something weird. Advance congrats for 100K subscribers. Thank you. We're creeping there, we're creeping there. Oyster mushroom venom kills roundworms. Nice. Oyster mushrooms have venom? I thought venom was if you bit. Wouldn't it be poison from an oyster mushroom? Or do oyster mushrooms like secrete a toxin out into the environment? Ugh. Moral mushrooms. Too much tryptophobia going on there. No thanks. Not good. Turkey tails are fun ones. Let's see. Oh yeah, those are nice. I've seen these guys many times, but I didn't know these were called turkey tails. Yeah, when I drew like the fanning structures here, which I did erase out, but I drew some fanning structures here with stuff like this, stuff like the turkey tails I had in mind. It's good to have a name to put to the mental image. Ahmed Al-Douri. Hello, brother. How are you? Turkey tails. Myceliums. It's very fuzzy. I feel like we could throw some lichens in here as well. I think the idea behind this character is really like the mycelium come up, sort of animate the bones, but the way Joe described it also feels, it's kind of like the mycelium are coming up and they're bringing some of the forest floor with them, and then it all kind of gets tangled up and animates the bones. So I think we could throw in a few more things. We've got wood pieces in there, but I feel like we could throw some lichen in, like it brought up some of the Maybe not topsoil, but whatever the lichen is attaching to. Ahmed says, I'm making art. Don't let us distract one another. Everyone leave Steve alone so he can art. Yeah, leave me alone. Everybody leave Ahmed alone too. Let Ahmed focus on his incredible arts. Oh, that's awesome. Look at this thing. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, I love you. Ooh, I love it so much. Oh. Oh my God. I love it so much. Great moments in the history of form, baby. Oh. Shit. It's like really fucked up how beautiful the world is, you know? Let me open my Pure F and put that on there. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. And the thing I love is doing projects with my friends. And I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best friends. And thinking that I'll keep on going our way. And our way is on the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Do 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 do. Ba da da be ba 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 da da be do. Spooty up ba ba da. Ba da be ba 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 da be da ba do. Just give me a minute here, folks. I'm just populating my reference board. Speed bop beedly up. Stop dop deep bop boop bop beedly up boop. Da da beedly abo. Spada dina ba da ba do. Chop dida ba ba chicka da ba da da da. Scap beep bop boop bop beedly up bom bina ba do. Ba da da beep bop boom boom bom chicka ba da ba do. I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride. This is the equivalent of me playing hold music while you're on call with tech support. It's my hold music for while I'm populating my reference boards. Sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his lifeblood on my blade. The bastards hung me in the spring of '65, but I am still alive. I was a sailor, I was born upon the tide, and by the sea I did abide. I went aloft to furl the mainsail and I'll go. I fly a starship across the universe divide, and when I reach the other side, ooh, nice, 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 nice. Let me just put that over there. Hold on, I gotta look at a error here. Right, so I need to pump that up to... One of the images I was glazing did not produce sufficient protection. I need to reglaze at a higher intensity. It's a good thing Glaze tells you. It's a good thing it tells you that it didn't go far enough. So we failed to produce strong enough protection for this art. Please increase the intensity level and or render quality. So what was that? That was at 10 and medium. That was intensity 10, qual medium. Oh, and actually I already labeled it. I did not need to do that. Good on you, Glaze. Good on you. So put this up to 20. Try leaving that on medium. Check out this result that I got on Ball and a Start from Glaze. Very nice results. I mean, really quite acceptable for protection. I'm lucky. I feel like the kind of like psychedelic shimmer, the like little, the color variety that it adds, I feel like it kind of already works with my work, you know? It kind of adds to the psychedelic quality. Kind of looks just like if you saved a couple like level 7 JPEGs of it. Steven, I'm worried some bozo will make a deglaze tool. People have tried. No one has made an effective deglaze tool. They've lied and said that it's an effective deglaze tool, but the people who are saying that are saying, see, it doesn't protect against image to image. It wasn't meant to protect against image to image. They're adding image to image protection, but the original, the base version right now is not an image to image focused protection. So those people are just twisting things like idiots. Glaze works. Hate to tell you, but Glaze works. It doesn't mean it'll always work. Someone may wait. The team expects that people will make deglazing tools that function and all of this, but they're on it. I mean, they're working on it. And they are expanding protections, so. Now let's put that there, put this here. Got my mushrooms open. I feel like that lovely one that we saw could be used as a basis for vines. I believe the liars then, thank God. Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of people who are not Ben Zhao claiming that it doesn't work. You'd have to be Ben Zhao is a crazy freaking computer science ML expert who is legendary for doing things, I don't know how to put it, but like way harder than this in terms of adversarial AI. So if Ben says it works, you should trust him. And when it doesn't work, Ben will tell you, you know? He's invested in getting it right, you know? He's doing it from a research and contribution to the world perspective. Like, he's not making money off this thing. He's not trying to sit around and claim that something that doesn't work works. When it works, he'll tell you. When it doesn't work, he'll tell you. He's gonna be honest about that stuff. Can you link your reference boards like a Spotify playlist? That would be a great function, no? Someone should invent that. I guess Pinterest is that. I don't like Pinterest. I don't like scrolling through all that crap, and I don't like all the ads. I make my own stuff and drag it into PureRef. What does Glaze do? Does it distort the image when AI tries to collect it and spit out a new image? It is quite complicated to try to explain what Glaze does. I recommend you go to Glaze's website and just read their explanation of how it works. I struggle to explain it. It basically, this is a too rudimentary explanation. It analyzes your image through the lens of a particular AI model, finds out what the AI model would target, generates a nega version of your image that would confuse an AI model, and then generates a mixed version of your image and that nega version. Yeah, I apologize to everybody who Ben would kill me right there. He'd be like, shut up, shut your fucking mouth. And when I say overlay, I don't mean like the overlays we're used to in Photoshop. We're talking about an ML overlay, a kind of overlay that humans can't understand. Indeed, as Neil said, the link is in the description. Just go read how they explain it on their site, and they also link to their academic papers there, which go into the nitty-gritty for the people who actually know how to pop the hoods on these things and who understand ML stuff. You can read their academic papers there. Let's try to break the position of the limbs like we did on A. Just downloaded PureRef. PureRef's great. Give a little, if anyone uses PureRef, consider giving a little dono to the developer who puts it out there for free. I've given a little dono to PureRef. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember. I think I have, yeah. Throw a little money in the tip jar. Steven, how are the cool lizards coming along? Did you finish them, or are you going to finish them on another stream? I think I've worked on them a bit since I did them on stream. Have I? I think so. But yeah, we will, if the lizards make the cut in the story, we'll definitely come back to them on stream. At this point, I'm drawing all sorts of stuff that is still on the storyboard, still on the story chopping block. So we're not going to get too overly invested in anything. It's just like post-it note sketches at this point to look at it and be like, do we want it? Doesn't make sense, man. Maybe just like one. I feel like maybe one main mushroom coming off of this tongue. That way it kind of implies like, it's like, if I do like a main mushroom here, ooh, maybe it could look kind of like an eye, because you know how mushrooms got like those little waves of frills on the top as their like skin peels. So maybe I could make it look like an eye, and then that would kind of imply the truth, which is that is the being, not this. The bones just happen to be a basis on which this being conglomerated. Will this be a line art stream or will you be coloring in CSP2? I don't think I'll be coloring. I have not tackled coloring in CSP at all. Yeah, I'll need to take a look at that at some point. My interest in it is mostly for drawing. That's where CSP's tools have really impressed me, but I also haven't really tried painting in CSP. But we'll see. Ahmed says, hey, I need some help. I have a friend who keeps drawing strange, uncomfortable things while instead he could be drawing anime waifus. What remedy could there be for such a lost mind? The main remedy is to put a mirror in front of your fucking face and realize that you're the problem. And that goes for absolutely everybody, right? I mean, you're all projecting yourselves onto your anime waifu hating friends, and you're missing the fact that it's you who's the problem. And if hearing this truth distresses you, seek therapy. Seek therapy. Let me move this guy over closer to the one that he is similar to, so I can compare them more directly. Let's get B out of the way. I'm afraid he's gone too far, fellas, says Ahmed. I think I have. I think I have. Weebs got told, son. What do you think of Procreate as a drawing tool? I think it's excellent. I used to do a lot of drawing, line drawings, finished line drawings for work. Usually like an inked kind of a look. I did them for a long time, like 2018 to through the pandemics, 2020, 2021. I did a lot, hundreds probably, maybe a couple hundred, something like that. And I did most of them in Procreate. It's very good for drawing. It's, you know, I always butt it up against all those tools, the stuff that's on iPad and things like that. If you're just drawing, they're great. I always eventually butt it up against, I'd have to send it to Photoshop to do versions, to save it in a particular way, to fix layers and things like this. Procreate, almost most of the iPad apps are no good with that stuff. They don't have the UI in place. They don't have a lot of the tools in place to do stuff like that. But just for the drawing part, they're excellent. My favorite tool for those line drawings was what's it called? I forget if it's Jasinski or Jelinsky. It's one of the standard ink brushes in Procreate, the Jelinsky ink. I use that thing hour after hour after hour to finish those things. Stephen, do you even do drawings based on books as a theme, says GK. Tried to backpedaled, prevaricated, saying correcting it to ever, not even. You're not gonna trick me. You're not gonna trick me. You got scared, you couldn't own it, but I know that you're an insubordinate, mean, crude, petulant little child. And I shouldn't even dignify your disrespectful question with an answer. But, I'm a benevolent, even-headed, perpetually and preternaturally calm ruler of this stream. So, with my voluminous grace, I will answer your question. Stephen, do you even do drawings based on books as a theme? I do that a lot. Almost every book I read, which I do like reading. It's one of the main ways that I sort of potentiate my subconscious for art making. Most things that I read, I'll do at least a drawing based on them or as a reaction to the stuff in them or the mental image that they put in my head. Even if it doesn't really, I usually let myself stray greatly so that at the end you wouldn't really say it's an illustration of that book unless I told you. But I almost always react to every book with a picture. And some of them, I do several. And when I really don't know what to draw, if I'm just like blah, and for some reason I don't want to draw something random, which fortunately for me, I usually am down to draw something random. If I'm really just at a total, just like I can't even stomach doing something random, I'll just think back to books that I've read and I'll just go down the list and I'll wait for one to be like, oh, you know, it was a cool moment from that. And I'll just use that to start a sketch. Eli donates $5 and says this is straight up performance art. I mean, if only. I mean, I wish, you know, because then I wouldn't have to deal with the emotional damage that my stream tries to do to me. If only it was performance art. But yeah, I hate to say it, but the arrogance and stupidity that you see on display from individuals on the chat is 100% sincere, real, and it is a problem, Eli. It is. Easy to animate all these bones with vines that follow the typical layout of hand veins and all this. Easy enough. Easy enough, dear friend. Easy enough, Subhuti. How long have we wandered in samsara? Sufficient to grow disillusioned with the forms, I say. Sufficient to achieve freedom in this very lifetime, I say. I gotta reglaze a couple images, but I'll do that after the stream because frees up a little processing power. Goes a little slower for me because I'm on a Mac and my graphics card is not supported for the hardware acceleration. But if you guys are on Windows, there's hardware accelerated versions of Glaze that, if you have a good graphics card, might make it pretty dang fast, even for some of the higher settings. Steven, what do you think of X? I don't know. I've never been a Twitter user, a big Twitter user. So I saw that he replaced the logo with an X, but is that all he did? Or did he, I would assume that must have gone alongside a bigger like platform change. Was there a bigger platform change, or is it just the name and logo? My voice is going, I've been talking a lot today. I was on the phone this morning for a long time with a reporter about some AI stuff. You watched Arcane, Steven? I have not seen Arcane, no. Steven, how to attach pelvis to leg? What is the 3-inch gap a lot of people mention while doing this, especially Will Weston? 3-inch gap? He's probably, that could be all sorts of things, but I'm guessing he's talking about like the adductor group that a lot of people miss. Like there's it's like if you've got a pelvisione, like this, a quick simplification of a pelvis, and you've got a leg going up. These are your anterior, superior iliac spines, right? Those are the little jagged bones that you obsess over when you're feeling self-loathing and you say, I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to go on a diet until I've got those things that poke out next to my belly button, and I won't stop until I've got them. Those are the ones that you're talking about when you talk about that, the anterior, superior iliac spines. And things that a lot of people are like, oh, here comes the leg, baby. Oh, yeah, holy shit. Oh, man, we love legs. Dude, you nailed it, dude. That was awesome, son. Holy crap, did you see that, dude? The way you drew that leg, son. That was dope, man. Wrong. 3-inch gap that Will Weston might be talking about is that there's a down plane that happens here, might be 3 inches long. There's a bunch of stuff that inserts there. Sartorius, rectus femoris plunges deep into the gap between sartorius going this way, tensor fasciae lata going that way, rectus femoris pops out this way. But depending on the physiological configuration of that particular person, as it correlates with other things like gender, age, things like this, there's going to be a down plane, and then the leg will kind of come out. There'll be a little interstitial plane like that. And if you do that, then people are going to be like, what the? Is that what he thinks a leg looks like? I mean, that ain't right. I mean, the only legs I'm used to are poorly drawn waifu legs, man. Like, what the fuck is that? Are you going to erase this or what? Look, man, I bought you an eraser, son. Dude, just use it, man. Please, for the love of God, man. Just use the eraser, man. Just fix it. Just fix it, son. Please. It could have been the perfect drawing, man. It could have been exactly what I want to, what I want to look at. Please, man, please. Just use the eraser, man. So that's probably the 3-inch gap that Will Weston's talking about. I don't know. He might be talking about some other gap around the thighs. I don't really care. Good teacher, though. I never took his class or nothing. He taught mostly in illustration when I was at Art Center, so. Yeah, I definitely like this one better than A. Much better than A. I feel like holds up even if I don't move the bones around too crazily. Maybe I'll do like a wooden shell on the front. Give this man a Snickers and a kiss on the forehead? Dude, I would love a Snickers. That'd be tight, man. That would be tight. Steven, I'm literally weightlifting as you describe this. Bro, stop weightlifting, get to drawing, all right? Weightlifting, it's too much. That's too much health. That's too much health, all right? Put the dumbbells down, pick the pens up, all right? When you're watching this stream, you draw. Wait, let me go back up to try to get some answers about X, about Twitter. He wants to make Twitter to be an American version of China's WeChat. I don't know what that means. I don't know anything about WeChat. For now, that seems to be it, but more changes, probs coming. Yeah, I figured it was like a precursor to some bigger changes. The name, I don't care. I'm just not, like I said, I don't use Twitter, so I have no emotional connection to it. I don't care if the name changes. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, the actual changes he's made as a non-Twitter user from the outside, they don't seem good. Like there's people who, I have a few people like this, but for example, Dave Raposa, right? Dave Raposa posts a lot on Twitter, and when I want to look at Dave's work or see what he's up to, I go to his Twitter like it's his blog. Like I don't log into Twitter or pull up Twitter on my phone and then type in Dave. I sit up at my desktop and I go to twitter.com/Dave Raposa and I read it like it's his website. So when I saw that, I think it was a few weeks ago, it made it so that I couldn't do that without logging in. I was like, what's going on here? And I didn't want to log in, so I just kept bouncing off. I didn't get to check out Dave's work, Carlo Ortiz's work, stuff like that. That seems silly to me. From the outside, that doesn't seem like a good idea. Like you're reducing exposure for people, right? And isn't that a big part of what the platform ostensibly promises? I don't know. Progo says the 3-inch gap is the rectus femoris, does not attach to the acis, but 3 inches lower. That is correct. It doesn't. It goes into the hole made by sartorius and tensor fascia lata on the other side. But yeah, it doesn't go to acis. It goes deep to another part of the pelvis. Hi, Steven, says Dean. Hi, Dean. Love your work. Thank you, Dean. To add light to the sketches, would you go straight in and start throwing values or slowly design shadow shapes? I'm do more of the former to not great success, sadly. It depends on the end goal. these designs, it depends on the end goal, what's appropriate for that character, you know. You might have a character that is just, you know, you might have a character that's just this. All right, that looks very Among Us. Let me prevent a bunch of Among Us in the chat. But you might have a character that's just that, right? That could be a character. Do the lines tell you that much about the character? Not really. If it's going to be a character like in a project where it needs to turn around and do things and things like that. So as an extreme example, a character like that, you probably want to throw some values on it just to say like it's curved, you know. I'm not going to do value like real values right now, but there's a core shadow here, so you know that it's curved, or you can turn its head and show that it like has a facet here that follows that shape. For that character, values might be more important than lines. But for other characters, like let's say a highly detailed character like this, just a mess, there's usually two most useful ways to delineate a crazy character like this. One, lines. Lines are very good at quickly indicating a lot of detail. And two, color, even more than value. A creature like this, if these parts of the mushrooms were yellow, and then these parts were, you know, this is tree bark, so it's like gray, and then these vines are green. That's too green, but you get what I'm saying. Color will do a really good job at designing this character quickly and separating everything out. Now, I'm not really thinking about color for this project yet. I don't know if this project would have color, right? It might be a black and white animatic or comic or something like that. So I'm not going that way, but I'm focusing instead on lines. So it depends on the end goal, right? Like you heard me say, if I'm thinking black and white comic or animatic, color is not going to be the way to go. I'm probably not going to do color for the whole project. And it also depends on the nature of the character. Certain characters, a particular type of expression will make it easier to explain them than another. I'm behind on chat. Since you're so into realism and rendering, says Do Flamingo, have you ever studied art of Ruan Jia, Feng Wei, Huang Guangjian? Sorry for mispronouncing all those names. I know that's not at all how you pronounce them. I feel like I've studied a Ruan Jia piece a couple of times in the past. I don't remember specifically, but I feel like I've definitely pulled his stuff into Photoshop at some point and tried to do a copy to learn some stuff. The other two artists, I'm not. No, I am familiar with them. I know who you're talking about. They get recommended a lot, but their work I've never studied. Ruan's I have though. I've studied, like really studied, like tried to draw it or do a copy of it. Like I said, lightly a couple times. But I've looked at a lot of Ruan Jia, like a lot of people in our industry have. Stephen, what inspired you to draw mushroom creatures? This is for a story. All right, I'm way behind on chat, so I'm just gonna clip it. If you had a question and I missed it, just ask it again. I'm cutting my losses. Let me check on my dog. Let me make sure she's asleep. Yo, Steven, question. What would you do in a zombie apocalypse? Just follow through with Protocol A, man. Find the strongest person with a line of tanks, become High Vizier, betray him, take his power, rule. That's simple. It all just comes down to timing. You got to know your strengths, folks. I'm not going to be the guy out there with the M16 mowing down lines of zombies. Scepter. Visions. Worm-tonguing. It's that simple. Hey, Stephen, would you recommend a BA in illustration or a BA in animation, all kinds, for becoming a cartoonist? If you mean cartoonist, if you're using that word with a lot of intention and very deliberately, don't base your decision off me. I'm just some guy on the internet, but just to answer, I would go for not illustration, I'd go for animation. That feels more relevant to me for someone with a cartoonist dream than the way illustration typically gets taught. An illustration program usually doesn't offer up that many opportunities for cartooning, but animation will. Depends on the school, though. You know, every school teaches all this stuff differently, so it's hard to make any blanket statements. Dill Flamingo says, Stephen, you are given 10 seconds to say something anonymously and it will be heard by the entire world. What would you say? There is no self. Jono Quarto says, I now know why Stephen gets angry about anime wife comments. Dude can't catch a break. I know, it's constant. It's oppressive. It's relentless. I never relented. Tree Watcher says, sorry I am late. Don't try to bait me. Do not try to bait me. Don't do that. Okay? You're late. Just leave the donuts on the table for the whole class and silently take your seat. Sit down and get to work. Don't try to bait me with this I'm late stuff, all right? You know, we all remember what happened last time. I was already disciplined by the High Council of Master Draftsmen, of which I am president and lead board member, so I disciplined myself. And I respect authorities when they're me. So I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it again. But don't try to bait me. Just sit down and do your work. I do not know at all how I would want to arrange that pelvis, but I like those leg arrangements much better. I like that. Ty6260 says, should I delve for Stephen's deep-secreted wisdom in today's VOD or continue foraging in the fungal live content? Dude, continue foraging. That's what I say. That's what I say. Mr. Ball Slapper 2000 says, happy to catch a stream. It's been a while. He says as he slaps his balls 2,000 times. Love your videos, Stephen. I've been binging the meditation videos to help keep me focused. They are incredibly useful. I'm very happy to hear that, Mr. Ball Slapper 2000. Whatever I can do to contribute to your peace of mind and your focus and your art practice, Mr. Ball Slapper 2000, I'm honored to have done so, Mr. Ball Slapper 2000. Liking. kind of want to do an E. Why can't I auto select? I think it's control here, huh? Okay, Clip Studio experts. There, whoops. Is my Clip Studio crashing? Oh, I know. Clip Studio experts. So if you're in Photoshop and you have the move tool and you're moving stuff and you command click on the pixels of a different layer, Photoshop will auto-select that new layer and you'll be moving that. Now here, how can I do that in Clip Studio? So I'm on A. I want to be able to command click this character, D. Just click on its pixels and then jump to D's layer. In Photoshop, this is called auto-select. If anyone knows how to set that up in Clip Studio, let me know. Control plus Shift, then select will let you pick. Got it. I am going to let's see, what would that be? So Control, Command, and Shift. Thank you so much for that, Kai Liao. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna see if there's a way I can switch that. Oh, it's already got move layer open. It's great. So I'm looking for Command and Shift. How does this work? Hold on a second. If I click this, modifier key setting, textured pen. Maybe I'm switching to a different tool when I hold Command and Shift. No, but I still have that selected. This is the most exciting thing I could possibly be doing on a stream, right? But this is why I'm here. I'm trying to set these things up so I'll actually use Clip Studio more often. There it is. Change tool temporarily, select layer. So how do I edit this? Change tool temporarily. Does anybody know, now that I have found it, would anybody theoretically know? So I'm in the modifier key settings. I have found change tool temporarily, select layer. Is there any way to change the shortcut from Shift plus Command to Command to get rid of the Shift? Or is select layer its own tool? Should I just, maybe I need to go to, maybe select layer as its own tool. Auto select. Refer to all layers. Is this auto select the auto select that I'm familiar with? I feel like that's more like a magic wand. Is that this one? Yeah, that's auto select. That's a magic wand. You double click the one you want, press the keys you want, then confirm. Change tool temporarily, select layer, double click. Whoops. Shit, what was that? Fuck. Oh no, I messed up. All right, cancel. All right, shift command, change tool now I'm in general settings. Change tool temporarily. Settings. Operations, select layer. Settings for change tool temporarily. Operation, object, select layer. Okay, so it's an maybe if I go now to shortcut settings, menu commands. Looking for operations now. Operation, select layer, edit shortcut. Let me change it to command. Come on. Damn it. Nope. All right, cancel. Let's just cancel. Okay, we're close. Operation, select layer, set to D. And I can't set it to command click. All right. I'll need to come back to that. A riveting stream. Truly riveting content, says Tiger. Nope, you had it. Modifier key settings for general was it if you want to work like Photoshop. All right, let me go back. Let me go back. Modifier key settings, general, shift command, refine. Can I just change it to... See, how do I edit these? Oh, if it's only for moving an object, you should just use Control or O. If you want the layer you select to be active later, then it's Control plus Shift or D. In shortcut settings, those are keys. In shortcut settings, those are for key bindings with modifier plus a normal keystroke. Mod keys is what you want. If I'm looking at it, I know I must seem stupid to Clip Studio Paint Pros. I swear to God, I'm not like this in Photoshop. In Photoshop, I know how to do damn near everything. I want this to change. This is what I want. I want to change tool temporarily to select layer, but instead of shift plus command, I want to make this shift disappear. And I just want it to be command. Is there any way to do that? Is there some button I'm missing? I can't double click it. There's no edit function. I hit select, it just lets me set it to a different thing. Go, Steven, you got this. Oh my God. This is some real shop talk here. It's like, you guys need to understand. If I can't fix this, I will never use Clip Studio again. I'll refuse for the rest of my life. The radio buttons, click just Control. Okay, I get it. Change tool temporarily. Now I go to operation. I see, I couldn't edit that. I have to go to just command, select layer. Okay. Now we're good. Boom. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Wow, you saved me. I know it took a long time to get there, everybody. I know it took a long time to get there. I'm just so used to Photoshop thinking where you see the shortcut and you edit the shortcut. I wasn't getting that in that menu, you go to the shortcut you want and you assign to that. Now it's reversed from how it typically works in Photoshop, though that is how the other menu works, not this one. That is how this menu works, same as Photoshop. Now I get it. You learn something new every day. You learn something new every day. This has been most of my past 2 days. This has been most of my past 2 days trying to get used to Clip Studio. Just, I'm working, I encounter things, oh right, I use these buttons in Photoshop. How can I fix this in Clip Studio? And just going one by one, one by one. Thank you so much, Kai Liao, for being so patient with me. Thank you everybody else for being patient with me as well. And now I will remember that for next time when I encounter that problem again. I'll know to just go to the shortcut first and then assign the operation I want. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Kai Liao says, it's the only menu, even within CSP, that has that logic. You won't forget it after figuring it out once. Yeah, it seems, I've never encountered that before. Yeah, I think I'll get it from here on out. Or I'll remember it for that menu, I'm sure. First time I need to go into like doing stuff in tool properties or something, I'm sure I'll be confused again. Joe says the buttons seek to control us, but is it not we who want to control them? Are we better than the buttons? Shift plus escape equals freedom, man. In Blender grease pencil, you would have to sacrifice a goat. Yeah, that looks complicated. That looks complicated. I like B. I kind of want to do an E, or I like D. My iterations are all out of whack here. I like D better than A. I kind of want to do a version of D that has the big mushroom collar of A. I like that. I just like how big and simple they are. But it might be putting a hat on a hat with I'm not sure it would work with this big hump, the big hunch that we have. Let's take a look. It might be time to figure out Clip Studio's crop tool. Right away into more problems. Okay, what's is there a crop tool? There might not be one. I'll find out by quickly going to this and seeing if there's a crop tool in the tools section. Does not look like it. For now, let's just change the canvas size. That should do it. Let's move D over here. Let's add a little more. Does anyone know if there's a crop tool like Photoshop in Clip Studio? So I don't have to do this canvas size clicky whenever I want to adjust my canvas real quick. The only way I know how to crop is using the transform tool. I don't even know the transform tool in Clip. You can crop pressing M. So if I use the marquee, is that what we're saying? Well, I hit M. I think our shortcuts might be different. My M is... I must have unassigned M. My M is not doing anything. Doesn't change my tool. Select tool and a crop option will appear. All right, so let me do rectangle select. See if I do this. Can I make it bigger? Crop. Okay, so can I... So if I do that, but then it selects the whole thing. If I hit crop, that does nothing. How can I over select so that I can crop the canvas bigger? Does anyone know how to do that? If I do transform selection, no, that's transforming my content. You can only crop smaller LMAO? Okay. I might need to, on my own, dig into how I can work around that, because I'm very used to just having the crop tool. Hit C real quick, make it bigger than the canvas. Boom, I got extra space over there. Actually, let me just erase into this. Man, if you guys ever need to get tutored on how to use a program, little tech questions like that, bro, get a live stream. People love helping out with stuff like that. Stuff that has clean answers like that, people love that stuff. I'm gonna get you guys all to teach me how to use nodes in 3D programs one day. Just gonna open like the rendering nodes menu in Blender and just be like, what? And just let you guys teach it to me. Ahmed says, I think I know how to fix it. Go to Applications, drag and drop CSP into the little wastebasket icon. Go to Applications, drag and drop CSP into the little wastebasket icon. So if I just grab it here, couldn't I just move it right there? Would that? I'll be able to crop once I do that? Where was this? Fuck. Shit. Edit, change canvas size. It'll allow you to stretch the outsides. Edit. Change canvas size. Got it, got it, got it. And I could make that a shortcut, couldn't I? What does C do now? C do any? Oh, C does the nice little flip. What does X do? X goes to background color. I don't really ever use background color. So I could make C. This is edit, change canvas size. So I could go to menu commands, edit. Change canvas size. I'm going to set that to C. Yeah. Switch drawing color and transparent color. Drawing color function. I'm going to have to find that later. So, okay. So now if I hit that, then I can quickly crop. Okay, good. And now I got to go back and put change drawing color. Anybody? Oh, there it is. Found it right away. Switch main color and subcolor. Switch drawing color and transparent color. I'm going to reassign that to X. Boom. So now I can do the eraser mode with X. That's fine for me. And I can quickly crop, which is essential for me. I don't have, a lot of the times I don't have specific requirements for canvas size, so I need to be able to just make things bigger and smaller fast. Ooh, I actually kind of like that. I wish Photoshop would do that when you have the crop tool. It doesn't give you a little menu that shows you exactly what you're changing it to. That's kind of nice. All right, we're good there. Sorry, everybody, that this is the most boring stuff you could do on a stream, but I'm serious about using Clip more often, and this is what it takes to switch programs. You've got to you got to do your shortcuts, make it comfortable for you, because my Photoshop is completely customed. I mean, Ahmed knows. I have like a claw for my new layer that's like Command Control Q, like some ridiculous thing. I've got all my reselect, deselect, transform selection is all in these horrible claws, all pushed to the left side of my keyboard. I'm just used to working that fast, and it's all very intuitive for me. So if I want to use another program in any kind of real way, I need to get it there, or else I'm never going to use it. So it's just got to get done. That's what it takes to rediscover Clip Studio Paint. Steven's layout is not meant for normal people. Yours is really custom too, Med. You've got all sorts of weird shortcuts going on. I got a bunch of them from you, like the mask and inverse mask shortcuts. Use those all the time. Not so much lately, but back when I was doing like a lot of heavy photoshopping, just having mask a layer and inverse mask a layer on like, I forget what I had, like Command 1 and Command Shift 1. Super useful. Med says I'm not a normal people. Thanks everybody for the help with clip. I appreciate it. It's much faster actually just asking you guys than going to like the instruction manual. What the hell is going on here? Yup, we are all wisdoms. Is there a reason for the switch to CSP, or is it just to test out the waters? I've used CSP. I'm not completely new to it. I did a video for them a while ago, actually, where they asked me to do sort of a first reaction YouTube video where someone who had never really used it before sort of discovered their inking tools and used it for an application. And I was very impressed. You know, when I did that video, I saw the power. You know, I did I like took a pencil I had done in drawing and I did an inked version of it, and I played around with all of the, especially the vector inking tools. I was very impressed with its drawing abilities in general, but the vector inking tools especially, I found to be very powerful, very interesting. I didn't play with it in that video, but later on my own, I tested out its like story capabilities. That's like where you can, stuff like this. You can put files into, whoops, I lost the menu. But you can lay out like books to make it easy to work sequentially in clip. I thought that was very interesting. What's the subview? No. Guys, what's the panel called to see like the layout of your book? Is it like story something? Story, view, page by page, page manager. That's got it. There we go. So this function where you can like pick a book, do the binding, and then like work sequentially through it, and sort of shows you the gutters and all of this. I was very interested in this. This is not something that I know any analog for in Photoshop. So yeah, I just see potential there. I see power there. And like I said, I saw a lot of that stuff before. The only thing that made me then really go back to Photoshop and keep doing it is that I didn't do the boring stuff you guys are watching me do on this stream, which is customizing clip to actually be comfortable for me. All of the stuff that you've seen me doing, I was like, oh, I can't auto select. I don't want to deal with this right now. And I would just bounce back to Photoshop. So yeah, it was really just that prevented me from exploring those things more, because I couldn't just comfortably draw the way that I was used to. So I'm hoping to get over that hump and explore the possibilities with a lot of those tools more. So it's kind of a combination of Illustrator and Photoshop, I guess. Sounds very intriguing to test out myself too. It's something to look into. I wouldn't say it's a like Photoshop meets Illustrator, because the vector tools, well, I might be wrong, but the vector tools are very specifically for, are supposed to look like ink, are supposed to look like drawings. You're supposed to use the vector tools hatchy and stuff like that. I don't think you could do like, or I don't know, I don't think they're set up to really give you like perfect Bezier shapes if you're doing like icon design and stuff like this. I don't think it's meant for that. But it does unlock a lot of interesting things. Like you can edit your line weights after the fact, which is very, very cool. A lot of other stuff. You can automatically clean up like overlaps, all sorts of wacky stuff. You can see some of the, if you go back and watch that video that I did for Clip a while ago now, I want to say it was over a year ago now, you can see me play around with those tools and you can see the potential there. I test it out. I test out the overlapping stuff, the messing with the line weight stuff. The vector drawing tools are very interesting to me. Oh, wow, it's like InDesign? Yeah, normally what I would have done, if I wanted to do something like this, I would have laid out something in InDesign and then had all the separate PSDs feeding into it, linked to the InDesign file. But this is just like there in front of you. So you can just like feel the book as you do it. It's interesting. Okay, so I kind of like E. Let me redo this as E. I mean, it's over the top, but it's a monster, and I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool. It's got my favorite part of A. It's got the better body layout of D. And having, it kind of aligns with having the Primo mushroom there that's like actually his eye. You know, it's the creature is really the mushroom, not the skeleton. It's like this reinforces that feel for me. Let me put one or two more coming out behind. Probably just got to embrace the phallic on these. Some things are just shaped that way. I'm not working on that thing right now, so I can close that now. And I remember now, Story. It was in Story Page Manager. That's what that was. Should be selectable. Story Page Manager, yes. Okay. Let's do a little bit of inking. Why not? We got a good design burst there. We looked at options. We did what's supposed to happen when you design stuff. This is gonna drive me crazy if I don't do this now, so let me rename these. Actually, you know, he should be C. Just do it right. you're gonna do it all, just do it right. D, Jesus. All right. This isn't boring at all. I've struggled to get into apps like CSP and Photoshop, probably because I haven't customized them to my liking. Yeah, I think if you're serious about spending a significant portion of your life in these apps, you should customize them. I haven't used standard Photoshop, like without plugins, without customized shortcuts in, dude, I mean, 20 years. I probably customized my first shortcuts when I was like 13. And it was probably moving, my favorite custom, it was probably the first one that I was just like, I just can't take it anymore. There's a better way. Moving increased brush size from the brackets all the way on the right side of the keyboard, moving them to Q and W. Press Q to make it smaller, W to make it bigger. I did that in Clip too, because I'm so used to that. Those functions in Photoshop, Q is quick mask, which I never use, and W is the magic wand, which I use rarely enough that I'll just click it in the toolbar. I don't need a shortcut for that. Stephen, what was the quality of your art at 16 years old? Just a random question. Horrible. Horrible. I'm just going to say Real G Pen. I've used it a bit. It's very good. I haven't dived into the huge amount of available downloadable brushes on the Clip marketplace. The standard like inking pens, just the ones that are up there, are quite good enough for me. Already better than what you'll get out of the standard hard round for inking in Photoshop for sure. But I don't think there's any like objectively better for stuff like that. It's just what feels right for the task at hand. Hello to Emma. Good to see you, Emma. How do you know when to stop iterating? Do you give yourself a deadline or do you intrinsically know? Well, when I'm doing stuff for my own things, yeah, it's just when I like it. But when you're on the job, it's not up to you. You're done iterating when it's something they like. But yeah, after a while, you've just spent enough time doing commissions and doing jobs and stuff like that where it's all about what they want, that it won't be long before you're just like, dude, let's take a rest from this and just, once I think it looks cool, that's enough. Let's just go with that. I've spent enough of my life micromanaging everything and, you know, trying to please everybody and all that. And there'll be plenty, I'm sure there'll be plenty of that in the future at some point, so. When you get the chance, when you're just working for yourself, when you have some time, just please yourself. You don't have to iterate forever. You don't have to aim at some perfect, the perfect version, you know? It's like, that's a thing, a goal to go for, but there's other things to get out of your drawing time too. If you haven't tried, learning to ink in Illustrator with the pen tool with some custom brushes is very satisfying, plus you get the vector end result. It's interesting that it even be possible, but I have used Illustrator and worked with people who use Illustrator, and it's just, it is not for me. Trying to move over to Clip is like, you know, I live in the United States, so it's like it's like moving to another state in the US. It's different. Significantly different, but the overall culture is the same. Well, even that might be too much, but you know, we're in the same world, you know, same TV, same language, dealing with the same politics, like all that stuff. Moving to Illustrator for me, from my exposure, would be like if I tried to move to Japan. Totally different. Totally different. Many times I have been over someone's shoulder while they do something in Illustrator. I'm like, all right, I need this. Or my wife is pretty good with Illustrator. So I'll be walking through something with her, and every time I'm just like, how do you use this? She'll be like, oh yeah, you just do it like this. I'm like, that is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. Why would it be like that? I can't stand Illustrator. Do you prefer traditional art overall? I personally feel a disconnect with digital tools. Yeah, overall I do prefer traditional. you know, you can't beat digital for flexibility. It's great for concepting and stuff like that, but traditional the best, man. Digital is just like, it's the easiest, in air quotes. I don't mean for the execution of art, but I mean like for handling things, for fixing things, for doing versions, for sharing things. It's the easiest in that sense, but it's not the best experience, in my opinion. I have a similar disconnect with digital. It feels like I'm drawing with boxing gloves sometimes. I try to combine the two. Yeah, if I want something that's just like as beautiful as I can make it, if that's the main goal, traditional all the way. I just cannot make something... Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I cannot make something quite as lovely in digital, no matter how I try, as I can traditional. Just, it works better with my hand. It's much more natural. Gives me a much more direct understanding of what it's going to take to finish something. In digital, it's all very airy and abstract. It could kind of go on forever. Hold on, I gotta mute something. I started using a charcoal brush instead of the hard round. Makes it far more tolerable when doing line art anyways. Yeah, you gotta find what works for you, what pleases you, and it'll change. The hard round is an incredible tool, though. It has earned its reputation. Okay, now that I'm just inking instead of designing, we can put some music back on. I'm just making art. I'm way overdue to walk my dog and all these other things, but everything's gonna be all right. She'll forgive me. She's not bothering me either. Maybe that's because she pissed under my desk and I haven't noticed yet. Thanks for the stream, Stephen, and pre-grats on 100K. Thank you so much. Pet Fanny? Oh, I will. Oh, I will. She's leaving me alone, though. She got a good round to fetch this morning, so... Chuck says, hey, Stephen, just want to mention that anytime I type a question, I realize I already know the answer, so I just end up deleting all of them. Now you're a true artist. You don't need anyone's help. You know how to answer all your own questions. Steven, you already dropped the dating advice, so any marriage advice to share? No. Don't take your marriage advice from some random person on the internet. Ask your partner. Ask your partner for advice on your marriage. You're gonna find yourself in a situation where you're acting weird, and they're gonna be like, "Why are you doing this?" And you're gonna be like, "Oh, well, Andrew Huberman told me to do this." And it's like, just ask your partner. Communication. Damn, I'm getting a lot of spam calls today. They must be behind on their quotas or something. I think I've gotten 4 in the middle of this stream alone. It's more than 1 an hour. Let's hatch this guy the same way we hatched the other one, or else it might look weird. Steven, is this D&D music? No, this is from the Divinity Original Sin 2 soundtrack, and that was Quirky Bones, which is a great song. Let's listen to that one again. Monochrome Effect says, it's nice to spend precious dollars on new digital brushes to find out the brush I was looking for was already there in Clip Studio. Your work looks good. Yeah, the standard brushes in Clip are very good. Thanks for the compliment, Monochrome. I'm very used to working without a brush stabilization on, so I find the stabilization very noticeable when it's on. Kind of distracting. I turned it off. Same thing happens when I have the stabilization up in Procreate. I'm very used to just getting like the finicky little wiggles of my hand, and if I don't get that, stuff like that, it feels off. And I just wind up turning the stabilization on when I need it, like for a long curve or something like that. Are you doing art for a book, Steven? I don't know. I don't know yet. I mean, I'm working on a story with my friend Joe, who you guys know from the chat. But we haven't decided what it is or if it's even a thing. All I know right now is that it's making me happy. And I like doing it. And it gives me some good design stuff to bite into that is just what I'm interested in right now. Yeah, like Joe said, hard to tell which is freeing. We're just focusing on having something to be creative with. Just making stuff. Not letting what it is sort of limit it right now. Simon says, it is a book, but it is what it is oddly a good answer for now. Yeah. You know, you don't want to put the cart before the horse, you know? You don't want to get caught up on like, it's easy to get caught up on like the product and like over focusing on the product rather than what actually makes the product interesting, you know? Like finding the art in it. Like it's one thing to just get excited, like, oh man, we can make this and make that. It's another thing to be like, it's another thing to you know what I mean? Like, it's another thing to be like, I'm invested in this. This is something interesting for some reason beyond just the appeal of making a product and having something under your belt. And when you don't really have any other rails on stuff, you kind of gotta, I don't know, at least for me, it's like you gotta kind of have your priorities straight. Put the horse before the cart. And do the story. Goodbye, sun, see ya. Just doing a project with a friend, nothing better than that. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, we've all been kids before. That's why we got in the game, right? For so many of us, it's, you know, those were our early energetic experiences. Deramley says, oh, I needed to hear that. Hard not to get caught up in the product today. Reminds me I need to focus on the art, not the final intended product. Oof, it's real, man. It's real. We're generally, it's easy as artists where you're always kind of, you know, you're trying to survive, you're trying to piece things together. You spend a lot of time lost and confused. It's very easy to, yeah, when you've got even a little hint of something you might want to do, you get carried away. Yeah, you focus on the product. And that's not a problem if you can do it in balance and focus on the product and the story equally. But so many of us can't, you know, we lose sight of the art of why we're interested in this, what's substantive here. We lose sight of that and we just start doing the product for the sake of making the product, you know, having something to grasp onto. That's definitely a problem because it makes it easy to burn out. Find yourself in the middle of it like, why did I care about this again? You know? All right, everyone, we've been going for over 3 hours here. My ass is starting to kill me, so it's definitely time for me to take a walk and take my dog with me. It's time to move the old body. I'm just gonna ink here for a little longer, answer any last minute questions, but we're gonna start wrapping up here. So if you have any final thoughts, any questions you'd like to ask, throw them in. I'll see if I lightning round some things. But I'm gonna head out, get a little sun, walk a doggo, get dinner going. I will tell you though, it is pretty tempting to try to do a book that is just has a lot of drawings like this. It's pretty tempting. It's a lot of fun to draw stuff like this. But no one would want to see that. No one wants to see that, right? Who would want to see that? See, there it is. There's that demon. You can just envision the product. Just like, yes, so many pages of beautifully inked drawings. And you're just like, carried away. Thanks for the background noise / entertainment as usual. My pleasure. My pleasure, Emma. What is a good, efficient way to practice? Should I be self-reflecting before, during, and after the process? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just be very reflective, you know? If you reflect often, you have a lot of intention behind what you do, there's almost really no wrong path. You will figure it out. In terms of practical advice, just never forget to always be creative the whole time, through the whole journey. Never go through a period where all you do is study. Don't do that. That messes up tons of people. There is no good reason, ever, to only study, to spend years doing anatomy diagrams, just drawing boxes, things like this. Never let that happen. Study those things if they're relevant for your art, but always dedicate at least half of your time to drawing your own stuff, the stuff that makes you happy, the stuff that inspires you, the stuff that excites you. Don't ever let there be a long period where you don't do that stuff. It'll screw you over. You need to rehearse the things that you actually want to do. Do not spend years rehearsing stuff that is not. I know you think it's relevant. We all think it's relevant. It is relevant, but the boxes, the anatomy diagrams are not the work you want to do. Do not ever go a long time without doing the actual work, attempting the actual work. You need to rehearse that, even if it's bad. If you just rehearse anatomy diagrams and boxes, even if you do it for 20 years, when you go to attempt your work, guess what? You'll still fucking suck at it. Sorry. Bad news, but it's true. Of course you do. You never rehearsed it. You never practiced it. You were practicing other stuff that you're gonna try to kind of like snaggle it into position, but it's not the same. You're supposed to be doing that snagling, that figuring it out, the combining. You're supposed to be doing that the whole time. Cannot imagine that there is going to be the day when Stephen would say this for the last time and we wouldn't even know it. That's fucked up, man. That's scary. Nothing qualifies as those two things simultaneously. It's a sweet spot. How did you know what art industry you wanted to pursue as a career? Thanks for your answer. Well, it just sort of hit me by impulse when I was young and I found out about sort of entertainment design, but I've changed interests and, moved niches many times in the middle of all of that. So it always changes. Just go for something. You need real data. There were parts of entertainment design that I thought I would really love doing. And then when I did the job, I was like, I can't do this forever, So you need real data. So just go for something and start collecting data about what you actually like doing. I'm having serious problems with the separation between shadows, midtones, and cast shadows. I'm good at expressing the volume of each part individually, but the result like soft light. I'm having serious problems with the separation between shadows, midtones, and cast shadows. I'm good at expressing the volume of each part individually, but the result like soft. My course is many, many hours long and is specifically trying to solve problems like that. Sorry, I wish I had a shorter answer for that, but I don't. The detail coming in great. Thank you so much. I like doing finicky stuff like that. I feel that. I got so absorbed in study that I'm still trying to figure out how to apply it to what I want to do. Yes, it happens to so many people. We latch on to the studies because we think they're objective. You know, it's just like we can make a plan. It's like, oh, we can just put numbers on it. Like I did 50 today, stuff like that. It happens to everybody. I was there. It's a painful experience that so many artists have to go through where you come back to try to do your art and you're like, oh shit, it doesn't all transfer. What did I do? And yeah, what did you do? It's you can skip all that. You can skip all that pain. Just do both the whole time. Never ever give up on your creative work. Just remember, it's supposed to be bad. It's not like you're supposed to, it's not like the ideal is that you just do studies for years until one day you click and you're your hero. Nobody does that. That's not how it worked for anybody. You're supposed to do your images, the dream art that you want to do. You're supposed to do it badly for a while. That's just how it's supposed to be. There's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing to feel guilty about. There's nothing to regret. That is the journey to being good. You will never, I promise you, you will never study your way to suddenly being Kim Jong-gi, Craig Mullins, Kentaro Miura. Like, it'll never happen. That's not how it works for anybody. You're supposed to attempt your work, rehearse your work the whole time, the whole journey. You supplement it with study. I find the hardest part of art is finding what I want to do with my art skills. Yeah, it's real. It's a weird position to be in. It's a weird position. What the F, you're still live? Hello, Stephen. Hello, are you? But I'm no longer live. Now I'm going off. We did a nice long drawing session here, got some good designs in, moved into ink in one of them. The inking kind of makes it hard to see, but I do think the last one we did wound up being the one that I like. I like E. It wound up being a mix of the first one that I drew and the fourth one that I drew, and then I combined them. I wound up at E, and I like E. Maybe those mushrooms could come off if you needed him to like be more hidden, or maybe they get small, maybe they grow. I don't know, but I like that design. There's something there. It's not like there's not more stuff to work out. You know, it's a very complicated body plan. Probably be some desire to simplify it and things like that, but it feels like there's a variety of types. There's wood pieces, there's big mushrooms, there's small mushrooms, there's different type of mushrooms. There's like cat mushrooms, there's chicken of the forest mushrooms. And I do like some of the solutions I got in areas like this, especially feel very successful to me. It feels like the fact that the humerus is separated from the radius and ulna, that they're sort of tied up by these free-flowing vines. I feel like it reads very clearly in an area like that, with a shape like that, where I didn't quite get a good area like that on A. There's something about the looping openness of that little frame. I think that's what it is. I think that's what makes it work. It's like the vines make a little frame to make your eye focus within the frame. Like, there's the head of there's the joint head of a bone, and it kind of makes it very easy to read. So yeah, there's a few things that I feel are successful on that design pass. I like that one. And we're learning Clip Studio while we do it. The chat was nice enough to help me out, figure out some shortcut problems so I could freaking customize clips so that I'll actually draw on it instead of just returning to Photoshop out of frustration. I'm curious, what are these designs for? Is it a fun personal project or something else? Yeah, these are for personal. I can't do, I haven't been doing commercial work lately. It's been well over a year now since I've done any commercial work. I've just been enjoying doing my own thing and teaching. But even if I was doing commercial work, I can't ever do that on stream. There's basically no commercial work you can do for stream. Unless you're doing like commissions for a private person and you talk to them about it and you're like, is it okay if I do this on stream? You could do that, but stuff for companies, there's almost no company that would let you do something something publicly on stream or something like that. So Yeah, anytime you see me drawing on here on stream, it's always personal. It's just stuff for me. That's the only stuff I can do live on the internet. But yeah, this one is for a project. This one is for story stuff that me and my friend are working on. I'm designing stuff out for our story. Steven, you're like that supportive uncle that's kind of insane, but you know he's always on point. It's a good vibe. Love the cracked avuncular vibe that I can strike with some of you. Oops. All right, everybody. I'm going to go walk the dog, make some dinner. I will see you all soon. Probably Wednesday. Wednesday if we stay on the schedule. I might have some interesting stuff. You guys know I do a bunch of AI stuff. So I don't think I have something on the books tomorrow for that. So I don't think I could do tomorrow. And I have something that might pop up. But it probably shouldn't be Wednesday. So I'll probably see you on Wednesday. All right, everybody. Take care. Happy drawing. And thank you for being here.